Thank you everyone for joining me today. This is just a follow-up video for the video that I uploaded yesterday, or actually, sorry, because of the time that it is right now, this video may end up being actually uploaded 2 days after the one that I uploaded, or actually, it may not, possibly. Just a heads up to let you know. But of course, let's get to the actual topic. I made a little analysis, or of course, tops. I made a list of important things that are needed to be done for this console to be successful if it comes out to be a handheld hybrid. Just of course after the past quote-unquote outrage, because of course I was not happy at all, but I give it a top. I was focused on watching it and looking at this whole picture with this handheld hybrid, and to find some solutions just in case that it comes out to be a handheld hybrid. And of course, as I mentioned before, I may end up loving it, and of course playing all the games on it, being very happy, and of course it may sell like pancakes, like fresh bread, and of course it may be a very great and successful system. But I think, in my opinion, that these upcoming points are going to be needed for that to happen. So I'm just going to share with you my tops and let you know what may need to be, or in this case, I'm pretty sure that this is needed and it's very important to have it. It's not something very you could say ambitious, or something that is very you could say like unnecessary. All of these things that I'm going to list are very important. Some of them may be more important than the other ones, but as I will go through the list, I may go from the most important thing to the least important thing, quote unquote. All of them are important. There's really something that is not important, but I'm going to go from the most important to the least important thing on the list, and I hope that this comes out to be part of the system. So first, we need, if this is going to be of course a handheld hybrid, incorporated with the dock station. The dock station needs to be part of the system power, which means the dock station as an extra part of the system needs to have inside some extra RAM, some extra CPU, I don't know, some extra video graphical power to provide to this handheld tablet and make it more powerful, more stable, give you more features than the ones that you had on the go, so it can be a more solid experience when you're in your home. So that's actually what needs to be done on the dock station on that point, if you want to get that to be done in a more friendly way, and of course a more welcoming way to the people that just wants to play their games on the couch or on their bed and enjoy their time when they're not outside in their house. Outside of course in the streets, but in their house they want to have a good time. Second point, the dock station needs to provide backwards compatibility with the Wii U and or the 3DS. In this case means that we need this dock station to have some compatibility with the past systems. We don't want them to repeat what the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 did. The PlayStation 3 had compatibility with the PlayStation 1 games, and the Xbox 360 had compatibility with a great part of the Xbox games. So let's not repeat the mistakes that were done in this current gen with the systems. I actually, of course, in the Xbox E3 presentation of 2015, I saw that Xbox made an adjustment, and actually now the Xbox One is compatible with the Xbox 360, or at least of course some of the games for the Xbox 360. So that's something great that they did on their part to improve their system and make it more friendly to their fans and the customers. Of course, as I mentioned before, we need this console to be at least compatible with the Wii U, but if it can be also compatible with the 3DS, it's not impossible to do it. You can put of course the cartridges format to be very similar to the 3DS ones, so they can just be connected to the tablet, controller, console, connected into the dock, and use the dock station to play your 3D games on the go, using the of course system with the two screens that you have available. And the Wii U can be also used. Some of the points are going to be clarified as I go through the next points, but that's the second point. We need backwards compatibility with the Wii U and or the 3DS if it's possible with the two systems. Third option, the dock station needs to provide media ports. What does this mean? That this dock station, now that you see it has an entry for discs, and it has a new port also to connect your 3DS games to pop them in and play your games on the house system, on the house dock station. You could also have there a 3DS access and your Wii U access for your save files on your SD card, or a USB access for your music, your movies, or of course for extra storage. So you can have also there all the games that you had on the Wii U console, make a transfer with your Nintendo Network ID, and have the media access to all the information that you have on your USB devices, your external hard drives, and basically solve all the issues that the Wii U had regarding media. Now that you have the chance to see your videos on your console, hear to your music on your console, and of course have more games that you already had on your account to be available for you on the system. So that's basically what needs to be done with this feature. More media means more possibilities for you to go and to have more entertainment available at your position on your new system. The fourth point, which doesn't seem to be very important, but it actually is to have 64 plus gigabyte cartridges or cards. This means that Nintendo, if they're going to go through this cartridge thing, which is very good, it's great to know, because discs are more delicate, way more delicate. Kids sometimes don't handle the disc correctly, and they may break more easily. They may of course have more issues, and with the cartridges that happens least often. That happens not that frequently, and it's more hard for the cartridges to break. That's great, but of course we don't need to have we don't need to have a very low space inside. And if they want to go ahead and make this next gen games on the system, and also have a friendly set for the others, of course, which are talking about the second party and the third party, the publishers and developers to come with their games to the system, they need at least 64 gigabytes on the cards to provide them enough space for the games. Already the games that we have right now are quite heavy. 50 gigabyte games, 60 gigabyte games, and some games, even with of course the DLC and everything, are way more heavier than that. But of course that will be a great standard point to have 64 gigabytes available, so the games can fit inside, and we have of course no issues with the third-party developers coming to Nintendo and publishing some of their games that need to be sometimes of course more stabilized and need to be more improved to get more and have less space taken on the cards. But of course if they are not able to fit that in on a 32 gigabyte card, they're going to have issues. So it's always better to have a 64 gigabyte card available, so they can get that on your system and have the games ready to play on your console, in this case the hybrid handheld console. Fifth point, the tablet slash handheld controller slash console needs to have the controls built in. With this past rumors, we saw, or we heard of course, that this console may have detachable controllers from the actual tablet. So they may have, of course, on the side these docks that look very similar to the Wii controllers, and then connect them on the sides and then start using them. Just by hearing that, that sounds like something that is very inconvenient. To have those two separate seems to be something very, you could say, unfriendly, not user-friendly, not kid-friendly at all. And of course, makes things more complicated to have that separate from the actual tablet or system. To have them, imagine you're going on the street and then you have to pull out the tablet and then pull out those other two parts, connect them. That's not friendly at all to have it on the street, to play on the go. If you want to play on the go, you want to have everything on one device, on one tablet, everything to have just on one simple way to just pull it out and play. You don't want to have more additional parts and then connect them in and make a whole process to connect everything. You just need to have everything in one simple device so you can play that with no more issues and play right in. If you're going to play on the go all your games on your tablet, in this case will be a great option to have all the controls built in, no separate devices or of course components to connect to that device, which are going to be not friendly at all. They may be lost on that process or they may break as you of course may connect them and disconnect them, connect them and disconnect them. They're going to wear any time. So as you use them, there will be one day that they will stop working or the dock is going to make false contact, and that will complicate things even more than they already are with that dock station. So all controls need to be built in with the tablet / handheld controller / console. Thank you. Okay, that was a bit elaborated, but of course we go now with the next point. This hybrid handheld console needs to have backwards compatibility with the Wii U components. This means that we need to have compatibility with the Wii U Pro controller and with the Wii U gamepad. That's when the other part comes in. If you're going to, of course, have some friends to play, I imagine that, of course, when the console comes out, there will be not enough controllers out there for people to play. So if you already have a Wii U, or of course, even a Wii, will be the best to have some controllers available. The Wii part may be a bit, of course, not very condescending because that's not a console that may not everyone have already. Of course, handy because many people already stopped using it. But the Wii U, of course, it's going to be out of the market just right when the Nintendo NX comes out. So you're going to have a fresh console out, and the past console just came out. So you're already going to have many people that have the controller options available, which is going to be the Wii U Pro controller, and of course the Wii U gamepad, which is going to be a good replacement for that controller, so it can be used to play games on the system. That point may seem to be sometimes, of course, not sometimes, but when you take that point in account, it may seem to be a bit complicated, but it can be done, of course. It has the same basic layout controller as any other normal controller, but it has the screen in the middle, but it basically has the same buttons as any other controller. The D-pad, the two joysticks, the 4 triggers, the 4 face buttons, B, A, X, Y, power, select, start, and home. So we have basically everything on the gamepad, and it's not impossible. They can do it. Come on, they can bring back what was going to be integrated with the console and make it more stable, and of course more friendly now that it can use more options to play on your console. So that will be the 6th on the list. Of course, we're going to go to the 7th thing that needs to be done, or 7 great improvement that needs to be done from the past. That of course the online interactions and the stability need to be greatly improved from the current system. That's a very important one. And of course, as all the other ones is important, this one needs to be done no matter what. They need to improve from the Wii U. It was a system that had many online issues to connect with your friends, to play with your games. It's even like you're trying to connect with someone and you had a better chance playing with someone on the actual Windows XP playing backgammon and checkers. I mean, why? Why? This is a 2012 system, and Windows XP, which is a 2001, 2002 operative system, it's way better to give you the chance to play online with someone than an actual brand new console from just about 4 years ago. When you compare it with something that came out 14 years ago, 14 to maybe actually 16 years ago. I mean, why? Why they need to go ahead and keep that system with so many issues? This we use a great example of what need to be done to get people online, and actually many games did not have online too. Many games that were great opportunities to play online with other people did not have online, and the games that did, as I mentioned before, had issues. Sometimes, of course, not when you're actually playing. When you're trying to connect with your friends, with people that you played before, and message them and had a cross game chat, and basically many other friendly features that were already available at the time that the system came out. I don't know why they didn't do that, if it was already something that was before incorporated with the other systems. So that will be the 7 point. We come out now with the 8 point. Lots of games, new and old school, which means we need to have this system getting game after game after game. Not of course a lot of games each day. I'm talking about of course at least one good hit each 2 months or each month if possible, to add parity to the table, so they can release one good game on 1 month and then the next month release another game with a different genre, but keeping all of the games with great content, with great features, and also of course with variety of genres, so everyone can enjoy their time and not have a console with only third-person shooters or first-person shooters or adventure games, or only one genre that it's overflowing on that console. They need to keep many games and battery at all. There needs to be very varied games so they can get lots and lots of games. And of course, all the people is happy playing their favorite games with no more issues like we had, of course, with this current gen console, the Wii U, which is of course a failure when it comes to great variety of games. We only had some games on the system, some pretty good games as I mentioned before, but the quantity is not there. The quality is indeed, but not the quantity at all. So that's the 8 point, and we're going through the last point, and then of course I'm just going to give my final thoughts on this matter. We need a great price point. The great price point, it's always important. It's the least important in this case because we need those that I mentioned before more urgently than ever on the system. If the price is not too great, let's hope that at least it's good, of course. I hope that Nintendo, of course, can keep coming with good pricing on their systems and don't get ahead of themselves like Sony did with the PlayStation 3. Come on, pricing that system at $600 was a huge mistake. So, by good price, let's of course take into account everything that I said before, with the dock station to be of course part of the system, giving it power to it when you go to your home, with the backwards compatibility, with the media ports, the backwards compatible with the Wii U components, all these internal features, of course, of the system. And of course, let's take that on account. Let's say that the controller tablet is going to cost them around $150 by itself. And of course, the actual system itself, the main dock station with the power that it's going to provide to it, is going to cost them to develop around 200 or 250. that may give us a cost in the end of around $350 to $400. Maybe if they get, of course, an extra controller there, like a Wii U Pro controller or something of like a friendly controller with no tablets or strings on anything on it, the system may end up costing around $450 maybe in the end. That's a good price point. It would be great if they can incorporate all of that in $400, but I know if this is a new system, if it's going to come out with brand new technology, if it's going to be a groundbreaking technology with great power that we need, if it's going to cost more than 400, sorry, but of course not more than 500. 450 will be actually a spot that is going to give many people a good situation. Many people, of course, is not going to be able to afford it because, of course, the economy is not really that good. But if we take into account the $450 price point, taking into account we're going to get a proper system with good specs, great games, backwards compatibility, and all the features that I mentioned before, that will be a great thing, a great package to have, a whole package. And then, of course, in the end, you're going to be getting something that is made out of quality. If this is made out of quality system products with good materials, as I mentioned before, and everything's so stable that it doesn't, of course, affect anything on the system, and everything is working as a charm and there's no issues, it will be a great point to start with $450 if they come out with a breakthrough system with all of these features that I mentioned before. Even, of course, if they can cut prices and, of course, price the controller with the screen at $100, I don't really think so. But if they're going to have their Tegra X processor or a Tegra X1 or Tegra X2 processor even, that will be, of course, I don't think, that if it's going to have an X1 processor, it cannot be cheaper than 150. So, of course, if that's going to be coming inside of that tablet controller, of course, it may end up costing way more than $100, which is, of course, $150 or more. So, taking all of these in account, as I mentioned before, this is just an analysis to make the NX successful. If it comes out to be a handheld hybrid, to keep happy both the people that were expecting a great console system with great graphics on the TV, and of course a great system to have to play on the go. That will be the perfect marriage of ideas from both fans and Nintendo's. If it's their novelty to create this handheld on the go system, many people were actually expecting to have a great experience on home, in home. So that's actually the video what was about yesterday, that I didn't make my point very clear on that video, possibly on some aspects, but I think that maybe with all of this information can everything come clear, and I hope that, of course, Nintendo can get this message and that they already do have this information and know that if they have the information on this matter already clear, and they're going to develop a new system, that it comes with the things that I listed here. All of them are important. Extras, they can add in extras as much as they like, but I know that these are the essentials for them to become successful. If they do not get these on the system, at the very least, if they're not going to work with backwards compatibility, all the others that I mentioned before need to be included. If they're going to go through this handheld hybrid system, they need to at least have the power there and have the component there, the component compatibility there, to have more controller options for the people. If they're going to have backwards compatibility, that will be sad, I think, but that is not going to destroy or, of course, stop them from having a great system. If they can get many games on it, as I mentioned before, with the battery that they need to have, and of course the options for great online experiences to play with your friends, and great groundbreaking games with great looking games, not 4K-ish quality as I mentioned before, I will be more than happy with 1080p games, But of course, if they can make a great looking game with not having to go ahead and spend lots on the graphics, just something that looks great and appealing with a great art style, a great experience, great gameplay, that is most important to have than teraflops and great images that blow out your mind. So thank you very much. This is my points, my intake on this issue. Just a follow up to the yesterday video. I really hope that this is the last video that I make regarding this matter. Of course, I hope that the next video that I make is with great news coming out of Nintendo. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and take care. See you on the next one. Thank you very much.